you've been seeing going on in your life is a direct reflection to how you think and how you speak to and about yourself, to and about your life, to and about these situations and the things that happen and the things that come up? Could it be that the designer, the creator of these things, has been your mouth? It's been you, boo. Welcome back, babies. To all of you who are new to the Becomers family, I want to welcome you to the Dearly Becoming podcast. For those of you who are returning and who have subscribed, I thank you so much for your support and for watching and for sharing the videos. And I thank you so much for the feedback. You really don't know how empowering that is and how much that really blesses me. It just gives me the juice and the get up and go to keep going. So thank you so very much. For those of you who have never met me before, my name is Nikki Johnson, Coach Nick. You can see me as your sister, your auntie, your friend, your empowerment coach. And today, I believe I'm here to be your cheerleader. I'm here to be your corrector. I'm here to exhort you and to lift you up and to help you overcome your challenges with insecurities. All right, truth moment. I thought the second part of this conversation was going to go completely different. You know, I totally believe in going with what the Holy Spirit wants to do. So today we're going to focus on challenging negative self-talk as it pertains to overcoming insecurities. Now, as I was getting ready today, I took, as my pastor would say, copious notes on everything I was getting from God. So you're going to see me looking down at my notes because I don't want to miss a thing, because I don't want you to miss a thing, right? He's really speaking to us on how we can begin to overcome our insecurities. And I believe God has us here discussing this because it's those insecurities that have been keeping us from progressing, from becoming better and doing better and moving forward in life. So let's tackle them today. If you have not done so, take a moment to hit the subscribe button. Turn on your notifications so you're notified every time an episode is uploaded. I'm going to ask you also to leave comments throughout the show. You're going to help the algorithm help me to get this word out to more people. And then take a moment to share. We want to grow together. All right, so here we go. We're going to start off with this question. I want you to write this one down. Could I possibly be feeding insecurities and therefore keeping them alive and growing in my life? When you feed and water a plant, it does what? It grows. If you don't feed it, you don't water it, you don't nurture it, it dies. Well, today we want to talk about how we may be possibly feeding and nurturing insecurities. You feed them every time you give into them. And that's a nice little snack. Every time you recite them as your own personal mantra, that's a nice little meal. This shows up very strongly in your self-talk, the way you speak to yourself, the way you think about yourself. What begins to happen is now these things begin to come out of your mouth. So that's how it's been so easy to talk so down to yourself. That's how it's become so easy to talk so negatively about yourself when you're talking to other people. You say statements like, I'm never, I'm not good enough, I'm not, I wish I were, I could never be, I will never be. Or you're making comparison statements like, if only I this, like that, then I would be better. My life would be better. Then I would be good enough. I would be prettier. Some of us look at ourselves and those insecurities are so strong that we make statements like, I am ugly. If I weren't so ugly, if I weren't so fat, if I wasn't so this. And that inadvertently has been feeding. There's this book called The Secret, one of my favorite books. There's this quote in there that I love that says, every thought of yours is a real thing. It's a force. Your thoughts, your talk are so vitally important. What you think about a thing is what you're going to say about a thing. And here's the power in that. What you think is what you say, but what you say is what you're going to have. So when this quote says that it's a real thing, it's a force, you bet if you grab hold of nothing else from today's episode, you better grab a hold to the fact that what I am saying to and about myself is a real living thing. Am I feeding insecurities? This real living thing that comes out of my mouth, this real living thing that is conjured up in my mind, in my thoughts, this real living thing that I say, this real living thing that I speak is a force. It is a force. Our words frame our world. Process that for a moment. They create the world in which we are existing in. I don't mean the world in its entirety. I mean your personal, your micro world, the life that you exist in, your home environment, your job environment, your relationship environment. All of those things are created by the way you think and the way that you speak. When you hear that, does it put power in your lap? When you hear that, does it put responsibility in your lap? When you hear that, does it make you want to become more accountable and intentional about what you think and about what you say? Because if it doesn't, I'm not doing a good job of explaining this. Or you're doing a really good job of resisting this. Could it possibly be what you've been seeing going on in your life is a direct reflection to how you think and how you speak to and about yourself, to and about your life, to and about these situations and the things that happen and the things that come up? Could it be that the designer, the creator of these things has been your mouth? It's been you, boo. If your words frame your world, what kind of world are the words that you're speaking to and about yourself currently creating? Is it unhappy? Is it of depression? Is it a world of self-doubt? Is it a world where you're not content? You're never satisfied? A world where you are always stressed out? Could it be that these things exist because you keep speaking them into existence? Yesterday, we had a meeting at church, and one of the things that the pastor was talking about is how God spoke everything into existence. And I'll never forget a few years ago when the Lord was teaching me about my self-talk and the power that was in my tongue, the life and the death that is in our tongues. Catch that. There's your sign. That was for you. I remember God telling me that my words are going to keep framing my world. So you could be praying one thing, God, I believe you to do this. I believe this is going to happen. I declare and decree that I am this. I'm the head. I'm not the tail. And then you'll turn right around. You'll tear all that declaration down by looking in the mirror or saying to yourself, I'm never going. I'm just not. Bad stuff just always happens to me. Just as powerful are your words to declare a thing, or as powerful of your words to declare a thing. If you can declare good things and blessings, can you not declare curses and bad things? These are things that we're going to have to be reminded of all the time. We have to become so intentional and so thoughtful about what we're thinking, to the point where you got to do self checks all day long. Stay in a posture of checking. The Bible even tells us in Proverbs 4 and 23 to guard your heart with all diligence. For the people in the back, let me repeat that. Guard your heart with all diligence, for from it flows the issues of life. Some say, for from it flows springs of life. It determines the course of life. Come through, Holy Spirit, with the confirmation and the word. It says to guard our hearts with all diligence. That is all the intentionality that you can muster up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring it to you. Guard your heart like you guard your cell phone. I worked a job one time. I can't say where it was, but I worked a job one time where every 45 days we had to change our passwords. And every time you changed your password, you could not use any variation from the word before. That is just how secure this particular job was. To protect the customers and to protect ourselves, we had to keep changing our password. Maybe every hour, maybe 3 times a day, maybe for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we need to be doing heart checks. We need to be inwardly checking, where am I in my thoughts? Where am I in my words right now? And sometimes we need to check ourselves in the middle of a sentence. I am so quick, if I'm saying something, if I hear a word in my mind that's about to come out and I know that word is not life, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. And I'll tell you while I'm talking, wait, let me get it together. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, no, I want to say it the right way. That's how powerful our words are. But guess what? Those words come from the issues that are in our hearts, what's in our minds. So I've got to guard what I'm thinking. I have to guard what I'm saying. Not even just to myself, to you. What I say to you about me. Let me throw this in there. What I let you say to me about me. Even what I let you say about me. I have to guard that. And I am okay with telling somebody, no, I rebuke that. No, I'm not going to come into agreement with that. No, we're not going to speak that. Especially when it pertains to me. But I'm quick to do it for you too. And I am intentional this episode about not saying your insecurity. I'm trying really hard not to say your, because we don't want to take ownership of insecurities. That is why I love my own little self-definition God gave me. It's the things I'm not secure in. I'm not secure in that. Does not mean I have ownership of it. But if I say it's my insecurity, now it belongs to me. So then I got to feed it, right? You got to take care and nurture what's yours. Well, I don't want to. I don't know about you. I don't want to nurture. I don't want to take care. I don't want to feed these things. I want to overcome them. One of the ways you can constantly keep check of your heart is to pay attention to how things make you feel. How do you feel when you're saying them? How do you feel after you said them? Do you notice that when you say something negative, like I'm ugly, or I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm never going to have a man, I'm never going to get a good job, I'm never going to make good money, or if you're comparing yourself to someone else, do you find that you kind of start to slump in your posture a little bit? Your head hangs a bit low, your body feels a bit heavier, your energy gets lower. You feel a little bit lethargic and fatigued. And then, past and beyond that, everything starts to beget everything else, right? Because one negative thought It's going to beget another thought. It's going to bring another thought. And now you're sitting in this pool of low energy and negativity. And if you're not careful, it goes from a little pool to a whole full-blown depression, a whole entire day where you no longer want to do anything. You woke up optimistic. You started speaking negative to yourself. You started doubting you. You started thinking all these pessimistic thoughts. Now you don't even want to go anywhere. You don't want to get dressed. You don't want to take a bath. You really don't want to go to work. You don't want to fool with nobody. You don't want to answer your phone. And you justify this by feeding into that insecurity even more. And you make it okay to isolate yourself. You make it okay that you won't get up and take a shower. You make it okay that you'll walk around with the bonnet on your head all day and never put on clothes. You make it okay that you'll just scroll social media all day. Here's what we do. We get in those slumps. We get in those dumps. And we'll get on social media looking for the life that we wish we had. You don't have to say that's me. It's okay. I'll say it. We look for the lives we wish we had. We watch people on YouTube or we watch people on Instagram who are losing weight and exercising. They're eating healthy. That's what we want to do. That's what we talk ourselves out of doing because we don't think we're worthy enough to take care of ourselves like that. So we'll watch other people do it. We'll idolize that. We'll click like, we'll click heart. We'll write in the comments. And then the algorithm is going to feed you even more of that. So you're going to sit for about a couple of hours going down the rabbit hole, feeling less and less worthy and more insecure. It's going to beget something that's going to beget something that you're not going to like. It's going to end up being a situation and a lifestyle that you're going to look at in December. We're in June. You're going to look at this in December and be like, dang, I didn't do not even 5 things off of my New Year's resolution list, off of my goals, off of my vision board. It is so powerful. And I think, I don't think, see, I'm fixing my words now. I know that is a strategy and a tactic straight from the enemy of your soul. Because if he can plant just a little seed in your mind, he already knows you're going to nurture, feed, and water it. All he has to do is plant it. You're going to do the rest. That's it. He the puppet master. You're going to do the rest. And by the time you're done, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing. Some of you are watching this podcast episode. It is empowering you to no end because it's speaking directly to you. But if you're not careful, those of you who've been wanting to start a podcast, that's your sign. Listen, those of you who've been wanting to start a podcast, those of you who have been wanting to step out and start doing things more, those of you who've been wanting to start a YouTube channel, wanting to become more active on your social media, wanting to start a job, wanting to write a book, wanting to become a motivational speaker, wanting to become a better mother, wanting to go get your degree, whatever it is, wanting to go after that job. If you're not careful, he'll begin to speak to you, or those insecurities will begin to speak to you and have you thinking, but I'm not her. And I can't do it like that. And I can't talk like that. And I'm still working on me. So I'm not ready yet. Yeah. And that's a lie. Those are lies from the pit of hell. Do you think I'm all 100% all the way together and perfect? No. I live by grace and I'm striving for perfection in Christ Jesus. That doesn't mean I'm going to be perfect, but I'm striving for perfection. In other words, I am constantly striving to be and do better. Do you not think before I hit record, I didn't have to have a conversation with myself? So I'm sharing that with you in hopes that you stop letting yourself, the devil, or insecurities talk you out of everything, out of life, out of living, out of going after, out of being happy. Some people, insecurity talks them out of simply having joy, missing out on relationships because something in our past, some past experience, keep telling us that we can't be, we never will be, we're never meant to be X, Y, and Z. Let me tell you something. Your past failures are not a measure of your future successes or the possibilities thereof. I'll wait. I'm going to let you write that down. Put that on your mirror. Put it on your mirror. The past was never meant to dictate nor be an indicator of your future. Your past failures, failings, mistakes, heartaches, heartbreaks, pains, drama, trauma were never meant to be indicators of your future successes. However, if you let it govern the way you see yourself, if you let it govern the decisions that you are making, if you let it govern the steps that you're not taking, if you let it determine how you show up or don't, then it does become the determining factor for your future. And it doesn't matter if you are in your late 40s or your mid 60s, your early 20s, or you in your 70s. It's never too late to change it. Who of us have been driving the wrong way, down the wrong road, taking the wrong path because we got off the GPS? Who of us realized we were doing that and we just decided, I'm going to keep going wrong? Most of us will stop, recalibrate, turn around, and go the right direction. We're going to ask for help. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? We're going to call up a friend and say, girl, I am lost. I'm over here off of so-and-so. And we're going to get something to help us get back on the right track. This is your sign that you can get on the right track today. And I am telling you via this GPS message that to help you get back on the right track, to help you head in the right direction, to help you start moving forward, you have got to stop talking, saying things to yourself, saying things about yourself that are negative, detrimental, and are word curses. You've got to become more intentional. Think about what you're thinking, and you have got to start guarding your heart, guarding your mind. And I cannot stress that enough. So your growth work in this area, starting today, I'm going to challenge you to do that this week. When you recognize that you are saying something negative, when you recognize that these negative thoughts are starting to grow in your mind, you're going to immediately arrest your own self. You're going to stop in the middle of that thought. When you find that you're having negative thoughts, I want you to start replacing them. You can replace self-doubt with self-compassion. You can replace self-doubt with an affirmation of confidence. You can take a negative word, you can reframe the sentence, you can reframe the thought, you can change it from a negative to an affirming belief. So I love this definition of self-compassion. It's being kind and understanding toward ourselves when we suffer, fail, or feel inadequate, rather than ignoring our pain or flagellating ourselves with self-criticism. When we are kind and understanding toward ourselves. It says when we suffer, fail, or feel inadequate, And a lot of the times that's what you're feeling is the inadequacy, or you failed, or you're suffering or going through something. So we're not going to ignore the pain that we feel. We're not going to ignore it. It's real. We're going to address it. But at the root, rather than ignoring our pain or flagellating means to whip ourselves. It's a form of self-discipline. That's a place that a lot of us are too comfortable in. We are so comfortable with beating up on ourselves. We got to pay. We got to charge ourselves up for every mistake that we make, for everything that we do. We will condemn our own lives with our tongue because we're upset with ourselves for doing something wrong, for not making the mark, for not living up to, or because we're comparing ourselves, or because we don't think we're good enough, or we don't think we're adequate, we don't think we're sufficient. Side note, that may be why we're in some of the relationships that we're in. You found somebody that agrees with you. They want to put you down and criticize you and beat up on you and tell you that you're not adequate and tell you you're not good enough. They feed that insecurity in you. They feed that very thing that you're not secure in. And you have trauma bonded. You two have trauma bonded. They're feeding your need to self-condemn. You have not in the past thought more highly of yourself. So them coming along and talking to you the way that they do and treating you the way that you do feeds that insecurity. Amen. That was the root cause for a question some of you have been asking. But I pray that it empowered you. What are some affirmations that you can begin to say to yourself today? What are some affirmations that you can start saying to yourself daily? I would say, especially when you're starting to have those negative conversations with yourself, but how about you be proactive? Start doing it before. So now you have actually girded yourself. You have prepared yourself. You've been in training. Ooh, that's a good one. You've been in training. Say them to yourself throughout the day. Find affirmations that are the opposite of the way you've been speaking to yourself and begin to proactively speak that life into you. Now you are girded up when a negative thought will come. Because I'm going to tell you, just because you're going to get this today, you're going to embody this thing. You're going to master it. You are going to become the master, affirmer, encourager, and cheerleader in your own life. Just because you're going to become that does not mean that these thoughts won't come. That is why we have to continue to stay diligent and guard our hearts. Here are 5 key things when it comes to combating, challenging, and overcoming our negative self-talk. We've already started discussing one of them, and that is recognizing and identifying. I want you to write down the word awareness. The first step is to become aware of your negative self-talk. Pay attention to the thoughts that run through your mind, especially in challenging situations. When it doesn't go right, when the relationship starts to have issues, when you're starting to feel inadequate, when you're getting fearful, when you're getting anxious, when somebody has ticked you off, when you're sad, when something has triggered an emotion or thoughts, become aware of what you are saying to yourself. Pay very close attention to the thoughts that come up in your mind. Write down the word. That thing just fell. Now I want you to write down the word journal. Keeping a journal can help you track when and why these thoughts occur, why they are, and be specific. Be specific as to what the negative thought was and when it was happening. It may seem like it's frivolous or too time consuming, but this is also part of guarding your heart. Take a moment to journal. It takes but a few moments. When they arise, write them down, write down why, write down what they were. The next thing I want you to do is to challenge and reframe negative thoughts. Challenge and reframe. Remember, our words frame our world. So I want you to think of the word frame and reframing as creating, setting the atmosphere, setting the expectation, setting the environment. Shoot. Matter of fact, oh, Holy Spirit, that one is so good. We're going to look at it also as cleaning, decluttering. We're going to clean up our thoughts and clean up the way you just said something. We're going to reframe it. Question your thoughts. Ask yourself, are these thoughts based on facts or just assumptions? Are they realistic? That's so powerful. That's so powerful. I hope you underline that, highlight it or something. Is I'm ugly a fact? Or is it my assumption because somebody broke up with me, or somebody called me that one time, or because I don't look like so and so, because I'm not in a relationship right now, because somebody left me for somebody younger? Are these facts or are they assumptions? Are they realistic? Is this a fact that I'm ugly, or am I saying this right now because I'm not feeling good about myself? And if I'm not, why am I not feeling good about myself? Here's another question to ask yourself. Ooh, when I tell you God deals with me real heavy on this one. Why is this my automatic default setting? Why is it when this happens, I automatically think this? Why is it when this happens, my automatic reaction is going to be that? Why is it when this happens, I automatically say this? Get to the root cause. Why is this my default setting? Okay, reframe. Try to reframe your negative thoughts into more positive or neutral ones. For example, you can change I'm a failure to it didn't work or succeed this time, but I can still learn from this experience. Maybe there was something that I needed to learn and experience from this situation. Took the I'm a failure. The ownership of failure is not mine. That's not, I don't own that. To cleaning it up, to decluttering my thoughts with it, to recreating the outcome, to recreating the atmosphere, the environment, the energy, my next moves. I'm going to recreate them by reframing. I just empower myself. Now I want to figure out, what was it I was supposed to learn? What did I learn from that? You know what? I'm actually glad that didn't happen. It didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. It just taught me so and so. Quiet as it's kept, it made me pray harder. It made me lean on God more. It taught me how to worship more. Number 3, practice self-compassion. Be kind to you. Be kind to you. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend. Recognize that everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has flaws, including you. And it's okay. I'm going to give you this analogy. Imagine you have a child. You walk past the bathroom and you hear them talking to themselves in the mirror, saying the most hurtful, degrading, disgusting, unempowering, harmful things to themselves about themselves. I want you to imagine that. Now, while you are imagining that, imagine being God. and him hearing you do all of that to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be compassionate to yourself. Affirmations. Use positive affirmations to build your inner self, to change your inner dialogue, to strengthen your personal thoughts. I am worthy. I am capable. I am enough. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I have courage. I am confident. I trust myself. I allow myself to be great. Greatness is in me. Greatness comes out of me. I speak greatness. I speak life. Good things come to me. God desires to bless me. I am blessed. I'm highly favored. I am God's daughter. I'm his child. He loves me. I am lovable. I am loved. I am honored. I'm worthy. I'm good enough. I am enough. That can shift your mindset over time. Can help you to recreate by reframing your thoughts and your words, which will reframe your world. Number 4, surround yourself with positivity. Check your environment and check your peeps. Some of us need to check our squad. Some of us need to check where we're hanging out. Some of us need to unfollow and follow. You need to unfollow things that are not speaking life into you, that are encouraging you to feel bad about yourself, that are encouraging those thoughts of unworthiness and inadequacy. And follow things that empower you, that speak life into you, but that challenge you too. We need to start following people that will challenge us. Don't turn them off. Don't find something about them that you don't like to justify that you don't want to be challenged by listening to them or watching their content. Don't stop going to church and listening to the pastor because he challenges you to come up. Don't turn your back on God because God keeps challenging you. God is not going to get in the pity party with you. He will be there with you. He will stand by you. He's not going to feed the insecurity for you. He's not going to feed that pittiness. He's not going to feed that. He's going to tell you, baby, I understand. I know you were hurt by that. I know this is how you've been feeling. I've been waiting on you to give it to me so I could heal it, so I can make you better. I want to bring you up higher. I want to pull you out of that mud. I want to pull you out of that stinky thinking. I want to pull you out of it. I want to show you. I want to teach you. I want to pour into you. Because if he didn't do that, he wouldn't love you. He wants to love you out of that place. That's your sign. Surround yourself with positive influences, whether they are people, books, podcasts, environments, places, libraries, family members' homes that will uplift and inspire you. Get you some good books. They don't have to all be sex romance novels. Get you a good book that will speak life into you. If one of the things you're not secure in is if you are enough, if you are adequate enough, find you some books that will help you overcome that. Find you scriptures that will speak life into that. Get you a life coach. Go get some counseling. Do what you need to do. But what you also need to do is take yourself out of environments that do the opposite. If going around certain people, even family members, causes you to start turning on yourself inwardly, you need a simpatico. You need a break. And speaking of, you may need that also from social media. Sometimes we need to silence our world so we can reframe them. God wants you to turn off all the noise so you can hear from Him. Everything has your attention. Everything is speaking into you. Everything, even the news, somebody else's death, someone else's murder, someone else's downfall. You taking all of that stuff in. Remember, one of our definitions we're going to use for reframing is decluttering. Declutter, limit negativity, reduce exposure to negative influences, such as a toxic relationship. We just mentioned the media, anything that could reinforce the need or the desire to turn back and be negative. And number 5, develop healthy habits. Develop healthy habits. Mindfulness and meditation. Meditation and prayer. Now, mindfulness is very important. Even our Bible tells us things like being mindful, being intentional, being careful, being diligent. You have to be mindful. You can't just walk through life hoping. You got to be paying attention. You got to be diligent. You got to be intentional. You got to have goals, and then you got to set plans, and you got to go after them. Mindfulness, thinking about what we're thinking about, intentionally thinking about good things, intentionally meditating on the word, intentionally meditating on affirmations, intentionally meditating on our goals, meditating and envisioning what our future, higher, best versions of ourselves look like, how they live, how they move, how they show up. And doing the things that are going to meet that, doing the things that are going to bring that into fruition, that are going to make those things manifest. Practice mindfulness and meditation can help you stay present and reduce the impact of negative thoughts. Meditating is powerful. Genesis 24:63, he went out to the field one evening to meditate. Isaiah 26:3, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. That's meditating. We meditate on negative all day long. But when we begin to teach and talk about meditating on good things and meditating for your peace, meditating on the word, meditating on affirmations, meditating on where you want to be in life, we look at that like it's something wrong. It's wrong when you're meditating on negative things. It's wrong when that becomes your focus. It's wrong when all you can do is meditate on past pain, trauma, and live as such. Joshua 1:8. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Matthew 6:6. But when you pray, go into your room, close your door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Meditation, prayer, sitting still for 5 minutes, finding one positive thing for you to grow in and focus on. Maybe it needs to be confidence. Maybe it needs to be your trust in God. Maybe it needs to be your trust in you and your abilities. Maybe it needs to be you telling yourself that you are good enough. Maybe it needs to be you not just speaking those things that aren't as though they were, seeing them. And you sit in silence. I think we are afraid of meditation because we're afraid to be still. And I'm going to tell you something. When you begin to just sit and meditate, you may cry because you're giving your body time to stop and feel, time to stop and release, time to stop and heal. When I want to be empowered, when I need to be refilled, I sit. I take deep breaths. Sometimes I just meditate on gratitude and what I have to be grateful for. I sit and say thank you. I sit and say, God, I appreciate you. I think about what needs to be done. What do I need to do to accomplish it? And I sit in that for a few minutes. Sometimes your meditation just needs to be, don't say anything, don't think anything. God, I'm going to sit here in silence. Please pour into me. And there's your sign. Healthy lifestyle, exercise, a healthy diet, and sufficient sleep. Ouch. And sufficient sleep. Some of us are negative and our self-talk is horrible because we're tired. We're tired and we're exhausted. Get you some sleep. Go in your calendar and plan rest days. Forgo shopping one Saturday so you can get a good nap. Eating healthier. If we are what we eat, if that's like a real thing, do you wonder why you sitting up thinking negative and tired and stressed and life ain't moving? Because you eating french fries. The potato was cool, but then you fried it. Okay, if you eating that once a week, but like once a day, we're eating potato chips for our vegetables. We're eating candy instead of fruit. We're drinking sodas instead of water. Exercise. Y'all, exercise is therapy for me. I mean, I love talking to my therapist. I love her. But baby, it's therapy for me. I release so much. I cry if I need to. I don't care who looking. Mind your business. Because I'm sure minding mine. When they talk about the endorphins that it releases, you can be feeling funky. Y'all, there have been days I went in depressed. I'm not going to even lie. Depressed, heartbroken, beat down, all the things. I went in there and I killed it. I was killing the exercise. And I left out of there feeling like I can conquer anything. I felt so good about myself. I think our bodies are meant to move. I don't care if you're in a wheelchair. I use one too. You can move something, do something. I don't care what your health state is. Unless you are completely bedridden, you cannot move. But even if you are, if you can move your finger, if you can wiggle a toe, if you can blink your eyes, if you can raise up your knee, if you can get out there and walk, you can get out there and run. Move your body every single day. Turn on some music and dance. It's about doing something for you that your body needs. Like it needs food for fuel, it needs to move. You ever notice when you sit all day and you haven't moved? You get up to go do something and you got stuff popping and it hurt, and I didn't know I could hurt right there because you've been sitting stationary all day, long periods of time. Your body needs to move. So help it out by exercising. And these things will help you to combat your self-talk. And I believe when you can overcome the fear and anxiety with exercising, the lazy mindset, the procrastination of it, whatever it is, when you can discipline yourself to start making healthier food choices, when you can discipline yourself to and challenge yourself to drink less of this, you can have more of this. Stop smoking. Stop smoking as much. If you're smoking a pack, try doing a half a pack. If you're doing a half a pack, try only doing 3. Well, we can bring in these disciplines that will inevitably help us to become the best us we can be. That discipline is going to beget more discipline. And now you don't want to talk negative because you built yourself up so much. You know how hard it was to go from there to where you are. You know how hard it was to get from that place of stuck to being unstuck. You dare not go back and dare not be the one to send yourself back. And then you begin to help and teach others. Father, thank you so much for today and for this word. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for speaking to us today, God. Thank you that you love us so much. You love us so much that you don't want to see us in the same state over and over, week after week. You love it when we pray. You love it when we come to you. You welcome us to trade our ashes for your beauty, our heavy weight for your light yoke, our burdens for yours, which is easy. You love it when we do it. And because you love us so much, you want to change that very thing. So now we can overcome. Now we're delivered. Now we're healed. Now we're set free. And we can move forward. Dearly becoming, embrace the practices that we discussed today. I know it's a challenge. And I know for some, it's a challenge that terrifies you. We'll talk more next week on why. But today, let me say that you can overcome anything. You can even overcome yourself. You can overcome the imaginations of what would happen and what could be that terrify you, but never really happened. You can overcome those false narratives, those false realities. You can overcome condemning yourself. You can overcome the fear of being better by letting go of the comfort of staying where you are. I believe that when you embrace the things that we talked about today and you begin to implement them, that you're going to watch as the shadows of insecurity are illuminated by the light of your self-love, of your compassion, of your self-empowerment, of you rising higher and higher, becoming a better and better version of you daily. Never forget that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are destined to shine. You are destined to be different. You are destined to be unique. You are destined to be great. And never forget that becoming is beautiful. I thank you all so much for watching today's episode. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, take a moment to leave a comment. I would love to know, what is one affirmation that you are going to begin to tell yourself right now today? Let's put them down in the comments so we can all be empowered by these affirmations. I love you all so much. I cannot wait to hear what you're going to say. And don't forget to take a moment and go share this. Love you all so much, and I will see you next week.